The third book in my elementary science series is called The Scientific Revolution, and it starts with an incredibly important event that happened in 1543. A guy by the name of Copernicus published a book on what he thought the design of the universe should be, and it was radically different from what everyone else thought. Up to that time, most of the people who we called scientists back then, they actually called themselves natural philosophers. We call them scientists. Most scientists back then thought that the Earth was at the center of the universe. However, Copernicus showed that if you really have to believe the Earth's at the center of the universe must be very, very messy in order for that kind of universe to behave the way astronomers were seeing. And he said, God is a very orderly workman, and he wouldn't create such a messy system. And so what Copernicus showed is if you put the sun at the center of the universe, suddenly the universe acted in a much more orderly way. And so he had some scientific arguments to back up his idea, but the main reason he came up with this idea was that he believed that God created the universe, and therefore it should be ordered. And that's what his sun-centered universe was, much more ordered. So the student starts off by learning Copernicus and his reasoning for changing our view of the universe. And of course we now know that Copernicus was essentially right. Some of his details were wrong, but he was right. The sun is at the center of the solar system, and the Earth orbits the sun rather than the other way around. In that same year, another pivotal work was published, and it was by a fellow by the name of Vesalius. And it was the first really serious book on human anatomy. So those two books being published in the same year changed science in such a radical way that most science historians say that started the scientific revolution. And after that, science really took off. So the student learns about Copernicus and his ideas, Vesalius and his ideas, and then the student starts learning all the science that those ideas generated as other scientists began working with them. Now, the second book in the series, Science in the Ancient World, covers nearly 2,000 years of science. But Copernicus and Vesalius started such a revolution that this third book, there's only room for about 200 years of science. That's how much science progressed after Copernicus and Vesalius wrote their books. So the students will be learning about all the different things that were discovered during this 200-year time period, ending up with William Gottfried Leibniz and Karl Ole Christian Romer. Leibniz was a wonderful character as well. He developed what we call binary numbers, which form the basis of computers. The reason he developed binary numbers is he wanted to explain God's creation to people who had never seen the church before, or never heard anything from the church before. And in the Christian church, we believe that God created out of absolutely nothing. There was nothing, then God acted, and there was creation. And that's the basis of binary numbers. It's either 0, nothing, or 1, everything. And that's why he developed binary numbers. Today we have him to thank for computers, but in fact his motivation was to communicate a truth about creation to people who had never heard anything from the church before. So as the students are learning, are going through this book, Science, or The Scientific Revolution, the students are going to once again see how important the Christian church is to the development of science. Just like all my other books, this book is designed to be used by all elementary students, regardless of the age. So all of the elementary students in your family together will be doing the hands-on activities that are a part of the course. They will be listening to you as you read the course to them. They will be doing review questions and so forth, all together, so that the family as a whole learns all the wonderful science that was learned in this period, and once again, how pivotal Christianity is to the development of that science.